Is the quality of Mercedes genuine parts falling? Everybody says that the quality of anything that we make today is not that good. And so this scares me a little bit. Why does it scare me? It scares me because I spend thousands of dollars every week on parts. And not all of them are NOS parts. They're new parts from Mercedes that were built like in the last 5 years. And so I worry about these things because I wonder if they're actually any good or not. And I think that there have been some noteworthy instances of failure. So, for example, Mercedes decided that they were going to remake brake boosters for the early Finn cars. And if you've had any experience with early 111 or 112 cars, you know that in the front left fender there's an enormous brake booster with the master cylinder attached. And somebody at Mercedes worked with someone at Ate Classic and said, hey, can we make some of these? And they made them. And guess what happened? A lot of them were defective. Why were they defective? It's quite simple. You can't put it on a car and test it. You can't just tool up and make a part to specification, then quote unquote hope it works. And I think that that's a big problem at Mercedes these days. There's this idea that they could just build a part to the specification, assume everything's good, and hope it works. You know, does that mean they shouldn't try? Well, no. It doesn't mean they shouldn't try, but it means there's got to be some accommodation on the end of the customer. Because if you're the customer and you expect the mechanic to perform labor twice because of a warranty issue on a Mercedes part, or you're the customer and you expect, you know, an item to last even though it's sat for the last 5 years. You put it on the car, you don't use the car that much, the car sits, it's not really used or enjoyed, and you expect it to stay good. This can be a big problem as well, because I find that a lot of modern parts aren't as storage resistant. You know, storage resistance is definitely a big problem. So I'm going to tell you some examples where new parts are better and new parts are worse. And I want you to keep in mind that Mercedes has made good parts and bad parts for as long as they've made automobiles. So there are such things as defective parts. So here's an example of let's look at some bad parts first. We began noticing on the timing chain tensioners for the M116 and M117 engines that at least one tensioner we got did not hold pressure. And then we got one where the hole that feeds oil to the tensioner had not even been drilled, which is crazy. I probably should have kept it and tried to fix it. But to me, this suggests that the company that's building the timing chain tensioners may not know what they're doing. A second example of an item that we got that really, where there was like a little bit more to be desired, where things didn't quite work right, we got a pitman arm for a 280 SL. And I think that the story of this pitman arm will come out in a later video, but it's quite a hilarious story. The pitman arm was marked with the orientation of the arm, but it was on the wrong side, so you could not see the orientation mark when you installed it, which is quite silly. A third really good example of a part that didn't quite hold up to what I would call Mercedes standards. One of my customers bought 2 sets of rear rotors for his E320 wagon, and both of them warped. There were no locked up calipers or anything. He was not driving the car hard. They just warped within a few hundred miles of delivery. So all of these are great examples of how Mercedes does occasionally make things that need a quality check and probably should have been tested on the cars. And I know it's very hard to test some of these things in the cars. Now, there's some times when Mercedes has improved things, and the improvement has either gone one way or the other. On the 107 and 113 cars, they make all the door and window seals out of a much harder rubber. On the 123 series, they make all the door seals out of a much harder rubber. Are these seals good? Well, yes, sort of. They fit. They seem to be high quality rubber. They don't tear, but the rubber's too hard and the doors don't close nice. See what I mean? No testing on the cars. So this is like a failure on the chemical side. So while the part doesn't have an inherent defect that makes it not as functional because the rubber's too hard, the doors are hard to close, and you even get more air leaks. On the Pagoda SLs, in fact, these seals are so problematic sometimes that you have to do a lot of adjusting of the window and door to get the gap between the top of the window and the door seal to go away. And on the old seal, everything was fine. So I don't understand this. I don't understand what the problem is, but it's a convertible, you know. Now, on the other hand, Mercedes recently started remaking timing chain guides for the M117 engines from another company. And they've started using the same material their modern chain guides and their new cars are made of. And guess what? This material is amazing. It holds up better. It's more heat resistant. It's stronger. You know, it's brown. So if you see one, make sure that it's not, you know, a replacement guide before you go through the work of pulling it out. But the company that's making these things is doing a super job. Another good example that I would say really just impressed me so much that I was blown away was oh man, I'm trying to remember now exactly how to describe this item. Bear with me for a second. So when this company called Hayden, or no, not Hayden, Horton started manufacturing fan clutches for Mercedes M116 and M117 cars. Those clutches engage and disengage right when they're supposed to. Sometimes they're a little low on silicone oil, but the manufacturing quality is amazing. Are they worth the $680 or probably more now? Yes, absolutely. They're simply wonderful. You know, they work extremely well. I was completely blown away. So there are examples that go one way or the other. You know, some parts are great and some parts are not, and some parts are surprisingly available again. So, you know, the best thing you could do if you have a problem with the new Mercedes part is report it to Classic, because they're the ones that will actually try to do something about it. Don't just let it go undocumented. Don't keep it under your hat, because they need to know. The thing is, Mercedes wants to make good parts, and they respond extremely well to certain types of feedback as long as it's the right person. Is your dealer parts guy going to care? No, he's not going to care. But, you know, are the employees at Classics that are going to care? Well, sure, yeah, because they actually can communicate with the manufacturers of these things. And it's funny because sometimes I think of Mercedes parts when they're manufactured as being manufactured at the North Pole by ferries in a magical kingdom that you can't actually get to, that these things are so well made that they're from another planet. And I still believe that. I want you guys, you know, who work on these things, if anybody from Mercedes corporate is watching, I want you to know that the parts hold almost a supernatural quality and aura about them. Anyway, Mercedes genuine parts are still the safest parts. The gap between aftermarket parts and genuine Mercedes parts is huge. It's massive. It is unquestionable that the Mercedes stuff is much better made. You know, if you buy a Febby fan blade for your M103 engine, 25 to 30% chance that blade will shed, one of the fan blades will shed an arm. Whereas if you buy a Mercedes one, it'll still be there for 25 years or longer. So I appreciate you guys watching this channel, and anybody who's bought NOS parts from us, we really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I kind of didn't expect the strong sales. So I thank you guys, and I hope I can be here to serve you for a long time. See you guys in the future, and enjoy your classic Mercedes.